Hello, hello. Welcome back, Alicia. Princess Alicia, ladies and gentlemen.
Dang, it's good to be back.
Good to be back. Now, I just wanted to continue the podcast from where we were going last time. I felt like a couple things wasn't mentioned that should have been, and probably had a more couple questions you probably needed to ask, or you know. So I
Yeah,
figured maybe we should run it back for the remix. So this is part
yeah,
two, ladies and
I hear
gentlemen.
you there. I hear you there. Yeah, and I apologize, like if I sound like I'm gonna bawl my eyes out because I still can't believe the reality is coming true within a few years. I kid you freaking not, dude.
Awesome. That's the same thing you were telling me about the wrestling league that you guys were forming up and going professional with, correct?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's funny because this is the news from GD, who in real life his name is Joseph Lutz or Lutz. I'm trying to remember the exact pronunciation, but he's actually a professional wrestler himself in the indies, and so it's funny
Oh
because
yeah, if it works, it works, right?
you know what, and it was crazy because Kevin Wolf had told me, he's like, I'm so proud of you, and he's like, you're living your dream. I'm like, because at that time,
What-
like when I was a kid,
What's better and what's better than that, right? To live
oh
your
my
own dream.
god.
Yeah, because we left off yesterday, or the day before. We left off um with a couple questions regarding that. You never really got to specifics about how you plan on making this league work, this professional league, and like you said, it's a dream come true, right? So I mean,
It is. It is. I mean, my late father, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this before. My late father, who died from COVID, and other like health issues. I think he had kidney failure.
oh
Died
God,
April 11th of 2021. Um, his birthday was on, yeah, it was 4 days after Father's Day. We buried him on Father's Day, and then the last time we went to Disneyland was on his birthday last
that's
yeah, last year. And now,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
you know what? All I know is that he's very, very proud. I mean, he thought it was nuts, like to be a part of the wrestling fans community, um,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely,
now he's seeing his daughter living his, like, in his first wife. My mother
right,
lived the
right.
dream,
No,
and my
it's
sister's probably going
you,
like, my sister
you're carrying the
is not a,
torch. You're carrying the torch for your
I know,
dad. You
right?
know,
I mean,
that's awesome.
my sister is not a wrestling fan whatsoever, but just
Right
seeing
now, she's a huge fan. Right now, right? Right now, she's loving this, loving the moment.
you don't know
Got
my
it.
sister like I do, though.
I know. I
She's a
bet. I can
hard ass, let
imagine.
me tell you.
I can imagine. I can imagine how. I can imagine the excitement that you and your family's going through. You know, I'm sorry for your tragedy. You know, for the loss. It's tragedy. You know, because at the end of the day, it's like you building something in someone's name, and you wish they could be a part of it, like in person. Get what I'm saying? Not
Right,
spiritually. You know.
exactly.
So I get what you're saying. You know, it's like that. You know, it's like that, and and shout out to you for being strong because you really showing that you are a warrior. You are
Hey,
a warrior
they don't call me the warrior princess for nothing, man.
for
Real
nothing. That's
or the
right.
foreign character. They don't call me that for nothing, man. They don't even call my
That's
mom
right.
the Survivor Queen for nothing either.
Shout out to your mom too. Also representing GEW. Also on the E-Feds. Also representing WSW. And like you saying, your professional league that you're going through now. This is amazing. Do you want to talk more about that? You wanna put
Yeah.
me on? Let us know. Let us know what's going on. What's gonna happen? What's the near future coming through?
Well, it's funny. Now I'm gonna give you the backstory of WSW because, like, it all started when I downloaded the game. Nintendo Switch for 2K18, and
Okay.
I started playing it for a little bit. Now I created my father's character because I was still mourning his loss, and
Absolutely.
and I wanted, like, because me being autistic and me having separation anxiety, um, it allowed me to create what he would have looked like still on Earth. And I know my father was probably looking at me from up above and saying, "What are you doing?"
And tell you the truth, this sorry to cut you off, but the game is pretty advanced where you can actually you can use like pictures of of your dad and yourself, or anyone you're trying to create. Also, like let the people know that you can also create your character based on how you actually look. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually a big deal. Like you making you pretty much you keeping your father's legacy alive, you're keeping him alive, and you're carrying the torch as yourself as Princess Alicia, but you're
Mhm.
also carrying the torch for his dream and his passion for what he had for this. So yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
my father wasn't really a wrestling fan. Like, he was more into like old movies and baseball and all that.
Right, right. Old
But
school
I
days.
did him as a character so that way I could still see him face to face, even though I can't see him any longer body
Right,
wise.
absolutely. No,
But
that's what I'm saying. And then again, he'll be super excited and proud of you right now, considering what you're accomplishing and what you accomplished so far. Even though it is a video game, but what people don't understand about this video game, see, like to the listeners that are listening, that they don't understand that this game is more than just a game. Sometimes you get what I'm
right,
saying? Like
absolutely. There's always
like
behind
it's
the scenes to it. You know.
and there's thousands. And I'm talking about millions and thousands of people who are actually tuned into these games, and there's kids that watch the show, and they don't know how to play the game. Pretty much, they don't even play the game. They just watch us, like the creators, meaning yourself and all the others.
Mm-hmm.
um you guys create your own character where it comes to life in a virtual world, and the kids enjoy this because I have a kid myself. He's 15, and
Mm-hmm.
these kids they love the YouTube. Like they love this YouTube entertainment. They watch others play video games, and this is not even us playing video games. This is just the game playing itself,
Right.
and it's how you created your character. So according to how you created your character, that's what's gonna happen inside the view. When you're viewing it, that's what's gonna happen in the tube. So that's
I mean, in real life, like, I don't have long hair like like my character does. I don't have a crown like she does. I don't have like a cape like she does, or I don't have the gear that she does. What I see is because I want my character to be like me, but only she's a little bit more sexier. Sort of.
right. No, you're basically creating a role playing character where you're that person. But this is when you have your spare time, your own free time. When you're not doing whatever you're doing during the day, because we all have lives, of course.
Right.
And so
Forget that.
when you have your free time, this is what you invest your free time in, and you're making this character pop. It's like you're pretty much writing a story with a virtual reality character. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Absolutely.
it's like you do it according to your image. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was hearing AJ saying earlier that he and Sadie had listened to the episode from the previous night, and I guess they were impressed by it because
Of course.
and the funny thing was that we're touching people's hearts and souls and lives because we're not afraid to share our stories, whether we're in
Exactly.
character or we're out.
Exactly. The thing is, like we were saying in the last episode, or in part one of this episode, we were basically saying that these characters are, when you're in character in there, you're going into a men's locker room where you got a bunch of shit talkers, you got a bunch of gamers, you got a bunch of sometimes you have a couple minors, some younger kids considered that our age group is way more advanced than theirs. But you gotta adapt to the situation. Meaning, you gotta adapt to this kid is talking a lot of trash. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Or this little
god.
girl's talking a lot of trash. Let me show them that I'm a real gamer. Before they were even born, I was playing Nintendo and I was playing this and that. And we
Oh
wish,
hell yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And we wish back in the days that we had what we have now. Because if we had this as a kid, when I was a kid, I'm telling you, I would have lost my mind.
Now, can I ask you something? Like, what was your favorite game growing up?
Well, I used to play a lot of like I was really into the Genesis. I was around born like around the Nintendo era, but I enjoyed the Nintendo, the regular Nintendo, because I'm only 37 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the Nintendo era for a little bit as a real toddler kind of kid, like up to the age of 5 maybe or something like that. And then we had Sega, Super Nintendo, and all that. But when I was enjoying my childhood, when it came to video games, I enjoyed the Nintendo 64. And
Oh yeah.
the best game I've ever enjoyed in Nintendo 64 was Zelda, the
Oh
one with the gold, the gold Zelda, the cartridge.
uh huh.
You remember that? Yeah. So
I
that was
remember
like
that.
my
Yep.
favorite game of all time. And then when I had friends over, we used to play stuff like GoldenEye, 007 GoldenEye, or we used to play stuff like no WWF No Mercy or WCW versus NWO Revenge. And
Uh,
I was into wrestling too when I was younger and stuff. I grew up in the old era of wrestling, like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and Sergeant Slaughter, and those guys. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But my best wrestling era for me, I'm gonna have to say is the Attitude Era with the
Uh.
Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
That's you know
Nice. Yep.
The
I remember.
Rock, right?
It was funny. Yeah, because it was funny because like I was talking. Like, I actually did the Warrior Princess podcast. Which I should have spoken about the last episode, like part one. Um,
Right.
I had interviewed one of my friends that I went to school with. He was a big wrestling fan back in the day. He still is, and
Yeah.
it's funny because like we were talking about like different wrestlers that we grew up watching. I mean, I don't remember what he said. Like, I have to go back to that episode, but like, I remember like him like answering that question, like how he became a wrestling fan, and then that's when he told me about that. I'm like, oh my gosh,
It was amazing those days. Those days were golden days, like for us. You know what I mean? Because
you
we
know
can't
it.
get them back, and when we think about it, we're like, you know what? My childhood wasn't really that bad when I grew up watching this and grew up watching that. And shout out to the show also, this and that. That's
That's
that's what we
right.
do here. But yeah, I mean, it, it's great times, but we gotta, I guess, spread the word for the future to enjoy this the way we enjoyed it when we were younger and the way we're enjoying it now. You see, a lot of people don't take these things that we do now serious. Like what you were saying about the the a bunch of health issues and a bunch of a lot of people don't take these things serious because they're not really going through it at the moment. You get what
No,
I'm saying?
endometriosis is
So
definitely, yeah, because endometriosis is not one of the diseases that people uh, take for granted because
right,
like
and a lot of people are not even aware to it.
no,
To
they're
be
not.
honest, that's
Like,
that's the shocking part that you were
and
saying
the
in the last episode.
right, and the hard part of that was, Daniel, was that um people are thinking like endo what? It's like no,
Right.
it's pronounced endometriosis because now the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because I forgot to mention this earlier. I went through 3 surgeries in my life. The first one was a partial hysterectomy because I found out I had an 8-centimeter endometrioma, which was also known as a chocolate cyst. That was the size of a baseball.
Yikes!
That really killed me.
Yikes! That's
well, it killed. Yeah, I should say it killed one of my ovaries, but it didn't really kill me. But I felt like it almost did, because if it grew any larger, it would have ruptured everything.
it would have destroyed you inside, right? I know what you mean.
And then, and like the thought of like being opened up too, because I at that time I never thought being opened up during surgery would give me the fear of like, okay, am I gonna die? Am I gonna live? And then
that's the crazy part, because sorry to cut you off again.
No,
it's
fine.
The crazy part is like when you're going through situations like this in life, you're not really it's like your first time, like when you lose a tooth. When you're a kid and you lose a tooth, you're like, oh, you start crying because you're like, oh my god, I just lost a tooth, like I'm gonna have no teeth. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like that's how it goes when you're going into like some surgeries, and a lot of major moments in your life is going to be based on nerve breaking. But always remember this: your mind is basically your mind is your body. You know what I'm saying? Like your brain is all whatever your brain describes your body to be. That's what your body is, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it makes sense, but because the brain is like the main part of your body. Like it controls your heart. Your heart really just cleans your body up. That's why the blood pumps in and out of it. So that's why you can't always inject yourself with stuff. Like, don't always believe what the government tells you about vaccines, this and that, because you don't know what you're really putting in your body sometimes. You get what I'm saying?
And I didn't mean to cut you off either. There's this one drug that we were told as patients every single day, every single time. Lupron thinks, the drug Lupron thinks, oh, it's going to be a cure. People don't realize that endo does not have a cure. Like,
there's a lot of diseases that don't have cures.
Yeah, and like they think, oh, childbirth is going to be a cure, hysterectomy is going to be a cure, this, and this. No, it's not a cure. Because what people don't understand is that even though endometriosis is not cancerous, it could spread like cancer throughout the body. And it doesn't one spot. Like in the abdomen, it travels throughout the body. And some people feel it, some people don't. And all I know is that like the good majority of the endometriosis women in community do give birth to their kids, whereas the good majority does not. And I'm one of the people that does not, because it's one of the leading causes of infertility among women. Hello? You there? Hello? Daniel? Daniel, you there? Uh-oh. I'm losing you. I don't know what happened.
There we go. Sorry about that. No, it was probably my end or your end, but I don't know. Something has to happen there. But we're back. Sorry to lose you. So yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, it's part three.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no, like I was just saying. I'm sorry. I was saying that it's not right sometimes how like how life works, but like I said, God has a story for all of us, and we're living basically the story of God, and we're living it in our form. We're our own characters in this book. We're in this chapter
right,
in our
absolutely.
lives.
Absolutely. And I would like to add something to that because there's so many of us women and girls around the world, and believe it or not everyone knows this, but certain men also went through endometriosis as well. And I mean, not a
You
whole
want
lot of
you
men.
want to why don't you give the listeners give us the listeners actually uh more on the disease, like some
Okay,
that don't
so
understand it. What exactly is the feeling of it?
well, basically, where the lining of the unit of the uterus sheds, like when women have or girls have their monthly cycle, um, the lining of the uterus will shed, and if the fertilization egg doesn't fertilize all the way, that's where the endometriosis or the endometriomas or chocolate cysts will start to grow throughout the uterine cycle or in uterine wall. So,
Okay.
and it spreads throughout the fallopian tubes and ovaries. So that's why, and like I said, I had to go through 3 surgeries to remove it because
Not
the
one,
first,
but three surgeries.
yeah, I mean, the second surgery that I went through, it was supposed to be a total hysterectomy, but because I was so red hot inside, that if the doctor would have continued on with the surgery, I would have bled out to where I would have died because I started having symptoms when I was 12 years old, and
Oh my
I was
God.
trying, and I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to seek the medical treatment near my area? So, and if you remember listening to my podcast, um, I shared a little bit of that story. Um, yeah, you would have to see it or hear it to actually know what I'm really trying to talk about.
Well, I kind of understand what you're telling me, but it's just like for the listeners that really don't, understand. But I get what you're saying. It's like it's more of a woman kind of thing, which a lot of men, they probably won't take it as serious as you guys would take it, because considering you, like you said, you've been through three surgeries, like this has got to be like overwhelming and like destroying you, like mentally. Sometimes don't you think about stuff like that, like, oh my God, I could have.
Mentally and physically, because it ruined, like, because here's
Physically
the
as
thing
well.
though. Yeah, because here's the thing though.
Physically as well.
Yeah, because here's the thing though, Daniel. Um, Endometriosis actually took away how we see as living a normal life. And I mentioned this before, believe it or not, I actually appeared a few times through through the Booker T podcast. I was
Okay.
actually a guest on the Booker T podcast. I was a
Shout out
guest
to
in
Booker
another
T.
wrestling podcast. I was involved in another one, sharing my story, and all those podcast people that I was involved with were absolutely in awe because they're like, "You are so brave to share your story." Because if you
Absolutely.
hear
And
that
I'm one of
you
those
don't need
people.
it.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm one of those people that actually consider you one of the bravest women that I've ever spoken to. Because I mean, it's like I said, some people go through things in life where it's like, oh shit, man.
And you know what's crazy, Daniel? If I would have died, then you wouldn't have met me. Anybody else would never have met me.
There
I
would
would
have been no
have done
story
this.
of Princess Alicia, the warrior princess.
That's right, the warrior princess.
It's an amazing story. Survival. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like I said, man. Some people battle things in life where others don't. But at the end of the day, you still have to respect and consider these people as strong individuals, brave and strong individuals.
Right. And that's why when we're gonna do WSW in real life, not just in the EFED world, but in real life, the main
That's,
goal is to focus on acknowledging endometriosis, acknowledging scleroderma, acknowledging other hidden diseases and other physical diseases that weren't normally being mentioned, especially with childhood and men's disease, because
yes, of course.
we believe in spreading awareness. We believe in sharing stories. And we believe in allowing our future superstars to share their stories without being judged.
And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. If you can give, if you're running a company and you let the people be themselves and let them express themselves the way they truly have to, I guarantee you it's going to be a success. It's going to be a major hit. I mean, of course, you still have to have like control over like storylines and stuff like that, but you can always make someone's storyline realistic and truthful at the same
Right.
time without
Absolutely.
offending them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like sometimes, because you know how the real company. I mean, I don't have too much knowledge, but I have some knowledge of it. So I know that they do a lot of like fucked up shit where it comes to maybe like a death in the family or something. Just to put an example, they'll
Hmm.
use that. They'll use that, and they'll really like tarnish it. You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
not too long ago, I saw something in WWE. Um, it was a couple years back, but you saw how they used. I don't know if you're into WWE from a couple years from now, or years ago, or whatever. But
Yeah.
a couple years ago, when Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul, he passed away. They used Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio in the storyline, and they said some really like offensive shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like they were
remember
saying
that.
stuff,
I remember that too.
right? You remember that when they came
I
out
do.
with the T-shirt, like this is Eddie's son. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in other words, they're trying to call, Vicky Guerrero. Like what are you saying? Like,
I
you,
remember that because,
right?
and I'm glad you brought her up because, and I know she's probably gonna be listening and freaking out right now that they were bringing her up. But I remember telling her, I said, how did you feel like when you um like correct?
When they used you for that storyline, when they used you for, like at the end of the day,
Right,
they
but
gotta
as a
they gotta
baby
have to
face,
ask
but she
permission
didn't do
first,
very well
right?
as a baby face. She was always
Right.
the heel type.
Well, that's some people fit that character. Eddie Guerrero, like I said, man, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. He's one of the greatest of all time. Eddie Guerrero used to his best character was heel. Like when he was at his heel, he was his best. You know what I mean? It's just I don't ever think he was actually a babyface. He was always a heel, considering the fact that people just loved it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they
Hmm.
love the heel character so much that they have to cheer for it. You know what I'm
But they
saying?
didn't.
Like they love it.
Right, but they didn't overdo it though. That's the thing. Like he didn't
That's they didn't
overdo it.
overdo it. Right, they didn't overdo it. Well, he deserves a lot more than what he got. Eddie Guerrero is one of the greatest men, but Owen Hart was another one of the greatest. Like they tarnish some people's gimmicks and characters. So the point I'm trying to say is when you have your own company and it launches professionally and it goes on the air and whatever it is that you're doing, God bless it. I hope nothing but the best for it. When you do it, just make sure that you make your characters, feel welcome and feel free to express themselves as their character,
Right,
and
absolutely.
of course follow the rules of your organization and how you're going to run your storylines. But also, make sure you give them the freedom to express themselves and make sure that they don't lose the love for this. You know
Oh,
what I
of
mean?
course not. You know, and I will say this though, we do have a team that will back us up, and that they
Yes.
will say, okay, Alicia, your character, superstars don't feel comfortable right now. Like, maybe just give them the freedom that they deserve, and I'll say, okay, that's fine. And
Right.
then, because like I said, I may not always. I mean, my mom and I may not always see it every single day, but we'll be there to catch on the action, depending on what's going on. So, but
Of course,
but if anything
the
were to
view
happen
is
to us,
always
but seriously,
the
if
view
anything
is
were
always
to happen to us,
appreciated.
though, seriously, um, and like I said, I don't mean to cut you off again, Daniel.
No,
I
go ahead.
apologize because
It's your time.
I've
It's your
chased you down
time. Don't worry
multiple.
about it.
But if anything were to happen to us, we got to make sure that we get enough team members to say, okay, we're gonna keep the legacy alive. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which you know what people don't realize is they fail to realize. It's just that you gotta be yourself. Get what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you may be like, for example, let's just say I join your league, and I'm doing it wrong, and that could be EFED, and that could be in the real life, you know. But I come to you and I tell you, hey, listen, my gimmick is this and that, right? So
Right.
if my gimmick is this and that, how do I fit in your storyline that you have fit for me? You get what I'm saying? Like that's how I will come towards you if I was myself, me being myself, coming to you and saying, "Hey, Alicia, listen, I want to run. This is my gimmick. My gimmick is this, and that, and I want you to tell me what storyline you have for me that's based on my gimmick." So
Okay.
what would you say to that if somebody came to you and said that to you?
Well, what I can say to you is that I'm willing to work with you. Like, if you have any ideas you want to give me, or we can have your opponent meet up with you and give out their ideas.
Right,
Because I know, like between a heel and a baby face, it's not always gonna be pretty. But
right.
out of character, like, they should come up to either one of us who's gonna be running that, as like the manager or whatever, um,
Well,
or
and
one
real,
of like co-owners that'll be willing to be a part of the real action. Because like I said, I'm still
nice.
gonna run the virtual version myself.
Right. Well, the
Uh,
virtual version, I see like you're using your virtual version as you have a more of a following right now in your virtual version than you do in the real life one, correct?
yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So in the virtual, let's just say for that, if I came to you in the virtual one, in the EFED, that's what we call it. If I came to you in the EFED and I say, hey Alicia, my gimmick is this, and that, and what would you have? You know, because you have the storylines, or do you do it the way GW does? GW doesn't have a storyline for you. You make your storyline yourself. So you go to your opponent or someone you're gonna start a rival with,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you go and you tell them, hey, listen, I'm this is my gimmick, blah blah blah. Now I see that your gimmick is this and that, whatever, and then you guys work on a storyline. You know what I mean? The only thing that happens here in the E Fed compared to the real life Fed, it's that you can't pick the winner and loser in the real life. I mean, in the E Fed in the game where you can pick it in real life. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
In real life, you have it all storyline out, and the storyline works. So in the EFED, you're gonna have to make the storyline where like, you guys are gonna do this, and that, but I can't control the outcome of the match because the outcome
Right.
of the match is
Absolutely.
based on 2K. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Because in real life, a storyline, for example, would be if a woman character is going with you in a rival. Um, Usually the bad ones always win the matches locally, like where it's like say you have 2 shows a week. Those 2 shows a week, the heel will actually whoop on the baby face's ass, but
Mm-hmm.
then the baby face will come out victorious at the pay-per-view, and that's where the baby face is like, oh, we knew you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the fans go crazy because that's what they wanted. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And we
That
want to
in
make
real life that would
want.
work. Yeah, in real life that would work, but in the E-Fed it wouldn't work like that, right?
I mean, I'm still pretty new to the like. I mean, I've only done the owning for like a couple years, but I've been in Fed for like at least 5 years.
Nice. Actually, this is
So
my first time. Like DBD himself, this is his first time in any event like this. And GW, it's amazing because when we do the promotions for it and when we push it out there, like you guys, like the watchers and the people involved in it, like we make this bigger than what it is, and a lot of people don't understand that. And the viewers, we got viewers like crazy, and and it's crazy because they could be kids, they could be adults like us, they could be like teenagers. It doesn't matter. The point is that we're breaking 1,000 something views every 24 hours. You know what I'm
that's
saying? So
cool.
that's awesome, right? Like that's if you look at it, that's like, oh my god, like this game is really doing this. You know, like people really like our type of people that we have in this little community here. Because like you said earlier, you're from California. I'm over here in New York. You're gonna meet people from Scotland. You're gonna meet people from Australia because we have these type of people in the GW community. You know,
Right.
and it's like, oh my God, look, this guy's from Memphis, Tennessee. This guy's from Atlanta, Georgia. This guy's from, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. It's we're all meeting up for the first time, and we're making friends. We're making new friends, and sometimes you're gonna have some rough patches with these new friends because you're going along with your story, and you got two type of people. You got Princess Alicia as your character, and you have Alicia as the regular person. So now, let's not take it to let's know the difference when we're talking into this thing to make it fun for the kids and the viewers watching.
Right. And we want to try to make it family friendly, especially like, because there will be kids around like in the future. There will be parents that will be watching or that will be participating in it. And,
Of course, of course.
and the thing of it is that just because we just got the news the other night, it doesn't mean okay, is it going to happen before 2027, or will it happen after that or sooner than that? We don't know, because we're not promised what's going to happen tomorrow.
That is correct.
My aunt always said, focus on today.
On now. Focus on what's happening now. Yes.
Right.
At the moment.
Right.
Live for the moment. Don't live for tomorrow. Live for the moment.
That's right. That's right. And in the way that I see it is that if we rush things, it's not going to get done.
That is correct. It's times, as a matter of fact, now that you put it like that, it's funny you say that because that works in life as well. If you look at it, if you rush in to leave somewhere, if you say you're late to go to work, for example, I'm late for work, right? I might be so much late for work that I forget to put my wallet in my pocket, or I might forget some little object that's really important to me, like during the day. You get what I'm saying? Something that I actually need during the day, like my keys, my house keys, or whatever. I'm in a rush to go, so I have to go. And when you rush things, it never really comes out 100%. Never
Right.
rush anything.
Right. And there are times where I would actually forget things like, okay, did I forget my keys? Did I forget my phone? Did I forget my wallet, my purse? Did I forget to put money aside? Because I'm stuck with money management. I suck at it. My mom probably is too, but me mostly, I suck at it because
The thing is with that, I'm gonna tell you the secret of that. The secret of that is it's easy to make money, it's hard to keep it.
exactly, and
You know?
that's something I don't always stick by it because, and And I'll admit it. I'm not the best at money management. I'm not the best at it.
Right. So you'll definitely need someone like an accountant or someone close to you that knows numbers because you're not really good at it. Like saving
Right.
money, I can't save money. You hold this money for me because I know I'm gonna spend it. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna go to like maybe your mom or someone that you could trust, like mainly with your money, and just say, you know what? I think it's best if you hold this money for me and give it to me when I ask you for it. Don't give it to me right now because I'm gonna go spend it somewhere that I don't need to spend it. You know what I mean?
Right. And the thing of it is, like, I was telling my best friend, I said that, um, do you still appreciate me as a friend, even though I'm not always good with money management? And she's like, girl, you're my bestie no matter what. And
Awesome.
And that's what a true friend does. A true friend always stands by you no matter what you go through, no matter how much money you have, no matter if you're broke or rich or whatever. It's like, you want to be able to have people that will love and cherish and care about you as a person and accepts you for who you are, not by what you are.
Exactly. That's why it's always important to always have a brother or a sister in life that's not actually blood related. Get what I'm saying? Like you can have a
Absolutely.
sister, you can have a brother out there that's like, this person means so much to me that I consider it like a real family member. You know what I mean? And that's probably what you and your friend have right there. So
Absolutely. And without those people in your life, it's like, what will you be doing next?
still the world is full of surprises. So
You know
like
it.
you
Full
said,
of mysteries.
it's full of memories and surprises. That's all you're really gonna have at the end of the day. When if you look at it as you go day by day, all you really have is memories. You have good ones, you have bad ones, but at the end of the day, you gotta thank God that you're still breathing today, right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah, because life is too precious and too short to be wasted.
absolutely. So yeah, um, WSW coming out. I see you, and you want to talk about tonight's event in GW? What you saw tonight? You saw any matches stood out to you tonight where you thought anyway, like, hey, you got to watch out for these guys. You tell the FEW crew because you're still familiar with the FEW crew because you still got a couple associates down there, allies, and
I
so
mean, oh my gosh. I would have to say the DVD match and the Savage Vega match at the end stood out to me. Uh-oh, not again. I am so sorry.
no, it's all right. It's all right. It happens. We're having some technical difficulties. Like I said, everything will be all together anyway. Just
let's let's put a disclaimer on this one so that way the listeners will know what happened.
right. No, it's we got cut off for a quick second. We're back. We're back, folks. So yeah,
Hopefully this will be the
well,
last time.
yeah. Hopefully this should be it. We're gonna ride it out to the end. So yeah, we left off where you know everyone could be themselves in these e-feds and play your character the way you wanted to play him, and like I said, GW, they give you the freedom to play your gimmick however you want to play your gimmick. You choose your rival, and if that rival wants to go with you, then you guys work a storyline behind it and let
Yeah,
2K
same
decide the fate.
with you. Same with us because we want to give them the freedom to do what they want is best for their character.
Absolutely.
And what I was saying before we got cut off again was the two matches that stood out to me the most was believe it or not, the DVD match, and the Savage Vega match at the end.
The main event.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was explosive. That was actually a good match. It was better than I expected. Because shout out to Savage Vega again, man. That was my first episode too. Um, he was going in. He's been going in. He's been on a tear lately, you know. But then again, you got to give Zay the Assassin a shout out also. Zay the Assassin is the world champ. He's defeated. He's probably got like at least 5 straight wins in a row for the world title. And
yeah, Zay the Assassin. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's yeah. And a lot of people, you know, he talks sometimes, but you know, he's just he's one of those characters where, you know, I know him personally. He's like a brother to me, you know, and he's one of those characters where he's like, I'm the best or I'm nothing, you know. So he's going out there and he's doing what he's doing. So I'm glad that the Savage Vega and the Zay the Assassin match stood out to you, because they stood out to a lot of us, me as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that there was one thing that I'm still trying to learn how to run as far as like company and wins losses is concerned, is the roster standings. I still could not figure out a way to do the roster standings, excuse me, on my own.
Right. What do you mean the roster standings? Like
I forget to write them down every single time.
Gotcha. Well, you know, I mean, it's sometimes you're busy, you know, and it's rough. Like, you know, it's not easy running a league. A-Dot can tell you himself, it's not easy. It's not.
A-Dot and Savage Vega, like on their own, it's like, dang, how did these two do it? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why
put myself down and give up at that easily, but man.
Absolutely. Me and Zay, we got the permission to use the GW name from A-Dot for the Fight Club. We have a little Fight Club league, and it's pretty much something like a underground pit where you call out whoever you want to fight. Like, you're tough, but we're fighting in New York City in an underground arena, you know, but it's out in the open, and it's extreme, you know. It's something where I personally felt there shouldn't be no commentary to it. It should be something where within the locker room people call each other out and say, hey, listen, I want to fight such and such, you know, and let's go. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's not based on storylines. It's not based on anything where you have to work with somebody talking about, hey, me and you want to do a storyline. There's none of that. It's just, oh, you want to fight? You think you're better than me? Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, but at least it's nothing but a friendly rivalry, you know.
It's a friendly rivalry. It's within the GW roster. So FEW and GW is the same thing. So
I was gonna say, you better not leave FEW behind.
Yeah, no, FEW got guys and girls that, I'm telling you, man, they're tough. Like you said earlier, you guys create your characters, and you guys make your characters. You know,
and we don't believe in screwing people over when it comes to a title opportunity either.
Nice. Yes, that's important.
We don't want to do that because
you have to keep your employees happy.
Yeah, and the crazy part of it is that there was another Fed company that some of us were actually involved in that really screwed us over, because, and this guy knows who he is, he just does not want to admit it, but he was the one that screwed me, Jen Riley, anybody else, because he just does not know how to run a Fed. He just doesn't. He thinks he does, but he doesn't.
Right. No, I hear you.
And he forgets his superstars' names. I'm like, dude, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah, you gotta. It's not easy. Like, you know, A-Dot and Savage will tell you, it's not easy. What they do is not easy. It's rough. You gotta pick the cards. That's why we was trying to launch the Fight Club. The Fight Club is not about booking cards of, oh, you got a story with this person, that person. It's based on
Excuse me.
you want
Sorry.
to fight this guy and this girl wants to fight this girl, and
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Well.
no, it's
All right. Well, I'm pretty much starting to get tired right now. But yeah, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it.
thank you for coming again. Also, shout out to WSW. Shout out to your mom, you know, for being involved. This is very, I'm telling you, people
And
got to
I
pay attention to what's going on.
and
These things are going
and
crazy.
and I really do want to appreciate you being patient with me. Like I said, I'm sorry if I was trying to talk over you. I do have a tendency of
No,
doing that, and um, I try not
no
to let
worries.
it happen.
No worries. No, that's not even relevant. It's not important. But thank you again for coming. I appreciate. I I love what you talk about. I love what you're doing in the ring, inside and outside. I I appreciate you for coming again. This is
I mean,
awesome.
I
And I'm glad that I made a friend with you. And this is, it's a great experience to have you along, playing the same role that we're all playing. You know,
I mean, wish we could all do it in real life, but you know what?
maybe one day. You never know, right?
Yep, exactly.
Definitely. Well then, thank you, Alicia. You've been great, a great guest, and this and that with Mr. 357 alongside with Princess Alicia.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.